Welcome back, guys. I just want to give a quick, before we get started on this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to Chris Dacey. He was actually on 6:40 a.m. He gave a great interview. He is mostly live on X, and at the moment where I'm filming this, which is the Monday, he's covering these guys protested outside Parliament before everybody goes back to work. Well, yeah, I know it's taken almost 6 months to get these guys back into Parliament to actually start working for Canadians, and and then they're going to go on a summer break. I know, that's the Canadian government, eh? It's crazy. But yeah, go over to X. Chris used to be on Facebook, but they kicked him off for something, I think something that was in the background of one of his videos. It wasn't because of what he says. So all he does is report the truth. So just a shout out to Chris Dacey. Get over to X whenever you can. Sign up to his account. Give Chris the love he deserves. You know, this is a hard-working Canadian who travels all over Canada. He was in Toronto at the weekend for the walk that went on downtown. And yeah, he covered all of that, everything. He covers a lot of things all the time, mostly in Ottawa, and mostly, I would say 80% of his stuff is outside the Houses of Parliament. So yeah, Chris Dacey. Poilievre gave a short speech before going into question time and talking to his caucus and everything on yesterday morning. And one thing that I wanted to bring up was the fact that Poilievre talked about there not being a budget and the budget coming out at the end of the year, virtually in winter when the year is almost over. So they've already made all the budgetary decisions for the year, and then they bring out the budget and then we see what they wanted to budget for, but they will have already done it. So let's have a listen to Poilievre.
Cost of living and budgeting. Well, Mr. Carney told us all that, he said, I'd like to say it again and again, that a slogan is not a plan. Well, I point out that is a slogan, but but I'll tell you what a plan is. A budget is a plan, is literally a plan. And at first, his finance minister said there would be no budget this year for the first time outside of COVID in approximately 2 decades. Then the Prime Minister came out and said, well, there will be a budget, but it will be in the fall when half of the fiscal year is over. How do you budget for something that has already happened? Maybe they think that budgets will balance themselves. We need a budget to cut bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, and corporate welfare to generate the savings for lower debt, taxes, and inflation. For too long, workers and small businesses have carried this morbidly obese government on their backs. They can't afford it. They can't bear it anymore. Lowering the cost of government will lower the cost of living. We must unburden our hardworking people so that they can go further and reach higher. With stronger buying power and lower taxes, our incredible workers and entrepreneurs will have their work rewarded, their purchasing power preserved, and our economy strengthened. And speaking of our economy, our second priority is economic independence for Canada. We all want a permanent end to tariffs with the U.S., and we will work with the government to help make that happen. I've already told the Prime Minister that we are happy to cooperate any way we can to bring about an end to this unnecessary dispute and restore our not just our sovereignty, but also tariff-free access to the most successful international trading arrangement in the world. And we can't help but note that the Prime Minister promised during the election that he would put his elbows up and apply dollar-for-dollar tariffs that would raise tens of billions of dollars. Now, let's be clear. He said that it would raise $20 billion this year alone, and he published that in a platform released after he had quietly eliminated most of those tariffs. So how is he going to make up the money? And why did he put his elbows down when he said they were up? Look, despite the Prime Minister's doublespeak, we will work, as I said, to help him try and get a trade deal to put an end to the tariffs.
So what do you think with what Poilievre said? Do you think we should have had a budget? Do you think that the Liberal government had enough time to put together a budget so that Canadians knew exactly where their money was going and what they were going to spend it on. I think you pretty much agree with me that yes, we should have a budget before they go back into Parliament, so we can look at it and say, look, you know, I don't think nobody's going to do a no confidence straight away, straight into that, or even get that, even win a no confidence, even if it was called, because we've got the Bloc and the NDP and the Greens that will back the Liberals, because they'll just say, well, we don't know what they're doing yet. Let's have a look. Let's have a closer look at this budget. And I think the budget should have been pushed, should be out there, and Canadians should be able to look at it. At the moment, we don't know what Carney's got as his assets. We don't know nothing about that, and Canadians don't even have a budget to look forward to or look on as if to say, yeah, this is the avenue that Canada's going to be on for the next 4 years. 4 years. Okay, guys, I know, a nightmare, innit? See you in the next one.